Hey guys, just plain old me here, and I just wanted to let you all know that today is the beginning of my new upload schedule with this Battlefield video. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the video in the top right corner of your screen, or check the description because I'll leave the link to the video there as well. So I hope you're all having a great day, and I hope you enjoy my video about blueberries in Battlefield 2042.
Welcome back, Warriors, to another Battlefield 2042 video. I'm your commanding officer, Major Doodleman149, and in today's briefing, I'll be taking a look at our fellow deployed ground forces and speculating on why they are by far the most incompetent soldiers I've ever had the displeasure of deploying with. While most of this will be opinions and speculations, I'll attempt to provide some solid information behind my perspectives as to why most people you deploy with are worse than the flash clones we train against. This could be a rough one, so if you feel called out by anything I say, remember, I'm not necessarily wrong just because your feelings are hurt. But that doesn't mean I'm targeting anyone specifically. Unfortunately, most people deployed in this operation are just unprofessional. Other than that, perhaps evaluate how you fight to become a better warrior. Enough berating you all though, let's dive right into this. On a basic level, who exactly am I talking about? Typically, I'd refer to these incompetent fighters as blueberries. However, unfortunately, these types of soldiers even end up in my squad as well, more often than not. In general, the people I'm referring to are anyone on the battlefield who isn't Corporal Freaky Haircut, Private Fun White Kid, or Private Eric Whitehead. Other than those three, except for less than a handful of notable exceptions, every ally I see on the field is an idiot. While I'm glad DICE decided to add a nearby medic indicator in our HUDs when we get critically injured, unfortunately that rarely transfers into actually being assisted by a nearby medic, even when signaling for aid. I've had medics and squad mates ignore me despite being 2 meters away while I mark someone and run 100 meters to revive them myself, all without getting a thank you. I've also seen the people who deploy as medics be the most ineffective fighters around, getting slaughtered by a single weakened enemy because they're incompetently unaware. And on one occasion, after contacting a medic who was very obviously ignoring me about why he did not assist in my plight, he replied that he only revives friends. What a failure. Going back to the ineffective fighter comment I made, I frequently see myself in the scoreboard be leaps and bounds ahead of my random squad mates in terms of literally everything. Kills, assists, revives, everything is miles better than these idiots. When the match ends and between Corporal Freak Haircut and myself we get 80 kills only for our squad as a whole to get 88 is just unacceptable. Do not enlist if you are this incompetent. I've seen a number of flyboys on areas of the internet complain about soldiers employing stingers like there's no tomorrow and whining about how choppers aren't effective enough in this conflict. Fucker, have you been to any of my battlefields? If it isn't myself or the corporal targeting vehicles as a whole, no hostile vehicle would ever be destroyed. Never mind helicopters. If I wasn't the only one actively fighting armor, then I could see the point these whiny pilot bitches are making. But as of now, they just get mad when I slap them with the M5 and end their streak. Now that these obvious issues have been addressed, well, obvious unless you are one of these soldiers, let's get into what might actually be causing this. I, for one, feel the biggest contributor to this was the brass's decision to remove specialized classes from this conflict. This did two different types of damage to the flow of battle. For one, removing the thing that made these conflicts what they were brought in a whole new demographic of soldiers, namely those from the Crack Division School of Warfare. These people have no idea how to effectively work together and focus solely on fighting the enemy. On top of that, now even veterans of operations past who may have not been the best soldiers aren't doing nearly as well since there is no predefined role for them to fill. During the conflict with China and Russia almost a decade ago, even if someone couldn't shoot for shit, so long as they were reviving teammates and providing me with rockets, they were extremely useful and helped bring the team to victory. Now, gadgets are limited, so you can literally have to choose between offense and defense. No more rockets and repair tools, no more C4 and ammo crates. You either kill or you don't. A second cause of this decline in soldier quality again goes back to DICE up at HQ. They provide basically no incentive to assist your fellow soldier. Kills are worth 50 experience in our HUDs. A revive, resupply, or healing only provides 5. People who strictly look at numbers simply see this as unnecessary and not worth their time. If they make supporting allies more numerically rewarding, I can guarantee you people would help out at least a little more. A reason I believe the low standard of soldier combat efficiency has occurred is because of the many HUD options. With so many settings to adjust, soldiers may get overwhelmed with tailoring their experience to best suit them. This will lead to them simply using whatever settings came standard with their rig, and let me tell you, those base settings are pathetic. Keep an eye out for a future briefing where I detail you how you should adjust your rig. My final speculative reason for terrible soldiers is the assumption that many of them may simply be very young and inexperienced in general. As a new console age dawns on us, many young soldiers may be getting into their suits for the first time ever and may be simply unskilled in its use. This could be caused by the cringy, meme-worthy recruitment ads DICE has been running, but this still doesn't irritate me any less knowing that a child soldier is the reason I'm losing the match. This operation is for soldiers 17 plus and it should stay that way. Now, how can these speculative problems be solved? Well, for starters, reintroducing specialized combat roles would go a long way into organizing the mindless rabble that oozes across the battlefield. If everyone has a job to do, they will more easily gravitate towards that job and become more proficient at it. Practice makes perfect. This would also help to drive away the recruits from the crack division camps, keeping our forces more consistent. As I stated before, upping the numerical incentive to actively play with your squad will go a long way to getting people to play as a team. A team of lone wolves can be easily dismantled by a coordinated squad or two. Reducing the number of options given to soldiers for their rig customization may sound like a step backwards, but more is not always better. Either that or just make the base suit settings less shit. Your choice, DICE. And honestly, I can't supply a good method for removing children from the battlefield. Child soldiers are unethical anyway, and their parents honestly need to step in more often to stop preteens from participating in a war for adults. The SRB branch of the UN is the only branch that should be taken seriously. So that is all, warriors. Hopefully this constructive criticism of the currently deployed forces didn't agitate too many of you. If it did, as I said in the opening, perhaps analyze your fighting style and see if there's any way that you can improve. It's easy to blame others, but fixing yourself might be the best solution. Surely you'll all throw that in my face, but my combat record speaks for itself. I'm probably the finest support major in this army, and I'll put that to the test. So what did you all think of this briefing? Were any of my points valid? Permission to speak freely is granted. So if you felt your CO has done an adequate job today in this briefing, then please hit that thumbs up and subscribe button in the bottom right of your HUD to never miss out on more of my coverage of Battlefield 2042. And with that, I've been your CO, Major Doodleman 149, and until our next briefing, you are all dismissed!